Hello everyone, welcome to chapter 179 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. It is the weekly edition, and I seem to be standing in my new favorite spot to shoot video lately. Well, I'm standing by my sharpening grinder, so that ought to give you a clue as to what this video is going to be about. So if you want to see for sure, all you need to do is stay tuned. Well, yeah, it's kind of down to the last minute here. We had class last Tuesday and Wednesday, and it was just, going through things, looking at projects, and probably the most boring class that the students will face this term because I was doing all the talking. But this week, the talking's done. We're ready to start on the lathes, and that means I need to have a place to sharpen tools again. Now, with the way this was set up, I kind of needed this workbench to be able to sharpen properly here. And I want to be able to have my main sharpening rig close to my lathe, because eventually I'm going to start doing some turning, believe it or not. So this is kind of the way I want to set it up. Now, what I had debated with this machine is it's not fastened yet. And oh man, I just had a hard time bringing myself to drill 4 holes into this brand new epoxy countertop. You know what, maybe 6 months from now that would have worked, but right now, no. I just can't do it. So I learned from what I did in the past. My previous main grinder was designed to move around, and I put it on 4 rubber feet. And with this epoxy countertop, it bites like it's glued on. So I thought, well, if it works for this one, why can't that work for this one? So what I'm going to do today in this video is mount this grinder to a base similar to this, and then I'm going to remount my one-way sharpening system onto it. And then hopefully by the time Tuesday gets here, we're going to be able to have a place that I can nicely sharpen with my new CBN wheel and get that all going again. So I'm going to show you briefly how I did it. I've already got the board cut. I basically cut the board the same size as this one because the grinders are similar in size, and this worked really well. So and I'm not going double thick here. I'm just going to go 1 layer because this grinder is a bit shorter here than this one, and I needed this board under here when I had it just mounted on a table to get my one-way clearances correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over to the other side of the shop, and we're going to put the feet on the board first. Well, I found this scrap piece of pine plywood, and I just had to cut it a little bit. This is 11 inches by 18 inches, roughly the same as that other board. And I would like to put some rubber feet on the bottom. Now, unfortunately, the only ones I could find at my neighborhood Princess Auto store were these ones that push on to so you have a leg that's a post, and then you push these on. So not really the kind of foot that I wanted for this. However, with a little bit of trimming, they cut down to this nicely. So I'm just going to do one for you here. It didn't take me very long last time, but then I didn't use this knife either. I just used a razor knife. And there is a little bit of a mark, or a casting mark, right where the bottom of the foot meets the side. So if I just follow that all the way around, isn't anywhere as near as sketchy as it was with that little X-Acto knife. But I'm getting a little high here too. It's not quite. There we go. And it isn't trimmed the best. You can see in there. So, and I had to do this with the other one too. I just very carefully. Boy, maybe this one would work better for this fine tuning. There we go. I'm sure I could have found proper feet. And if I had a little bit more time, I might have ordered them on Amazon. But I didn't have time, so I needed to pick these up on Friday or Thursday when we were in the city. There we go. That'll do. Okay, then to put a screw in the bottom, I just carefully drill through and put a little countersink in the bottom. There we go. There we go. So that's all there's to it. And then they'll get screwed on. So I will bring you back when I'm screwing them on. Well, I've been screwing them on. I've got 2 on already. This doesn't take very long. I wish I had different screws. I just have 3/4. These are 10 by 3/4 round head. And I wish I had countersink heads for this. But it seems to be working. And I have about 1/8 of an inch of the board sticking past the feet. So this doesn't take long. And if I put them deep into the rubber, there's a substantial rubber pad on the back of these. These are going to work really good. So let's put another one in and get this done. There we go. Okay, well, let's, not sure how good this is going to work here. It's definitely not epoxy, but with some weight on it, it's going to be awesome. Okay, well, this seemed to work out fairly well. I didn't put any finish on this yet. I don't have time to wait for this to dry to get this done. So for the first while, it's going to go finishless. And then maybe when I get some time, I will put some finish on it. But now what I need to do is I need to double check the instructions for mounting my Oneway Wolverine grinding system to this board. And we'll go from there. Well, the legs are on, their feet I should say. And I'm not sure why I would have put this board underneath. Like this is an exact template of that grinder. And with this underneath it, according to the Oneway measurements, the height of the grinding wheels from the base should be 6 1/4 to 6.5 inches. And my grinder seems to naturally sit there. So I don't need this piece, but it was really handy for marking out the holes. So I'm just going to take my awl here and punch these through. Make a center mark for them. And then I'm going to take a small bit and drill through to the top, and then I'm going to flip it over and with a brad point put the 4 holes in that I need to mount this. Okay, let's do it. Now it just so happens I have this countersink bit here. I think that's going to do it. Spin it around. There we go, that's that. Got that. This is going to be the front facing me here. So that should be good. Oops. Okay. Now I'm going to drill through with the 7/16 brad point bit. It's a little bit grabby. Should have maybe done this in the drill press, but oh well. I think that's going to be okay. It's tearing up the top a little bit, but it's not a big deal. The sole plate of the grinder will cover it. Okay. That is that. Let's move on. And we're having microphone problems again, but oh well, I don't have to get that dealt with yet. Here I'm bolting the grinder onto the board, and I'm using four 3-inch by quarter carriage bolts with a flat washer, lock washer, and a nut on the top. So I tighten these up enough so that I think Oneway recommends removing the rubber feet on your grinder before you do this, but I left mine on. They're very thin and they compress nicely. And I could feel when I got to the same torque on all the bolts. So this wasn't something I was really worried about. So anyway, that's all you missed for sound in this section. So we're coming to the end. I also sped this up because I thought if there's no sound, what was the point in doing it in real time? Well, I got the grinder mounted on the board, and I put this side on already because nobody wants to see that all done on camera. So one of the things that I did that I think helps, I took this 3/4 file and put a little bit of a mark straight down from the bottom of that V there, because you need that. Like I said already, Oneway's website is really, really good for these instructions. There are a couple of things that you really need to mark on your board or wherever you're mounting this. I'm a little too lazy to take the guard off, so I'm just going to use my square. There we go. That's the front of the grinding surface, or the grinding stone, which is really important. You need that. The next thing that's really, really important is the center of the wheel. So, and I already took the liberty of marking this, but I could use a square. There's a bunch of other tools you could use. That looks pretty good to me. So we're gonna go with the marks I have here. I've marked this front and back, so there's no, you don't get any offset in this, which would affect your sharpening, I think, considerably. So then what I would do is I would take this and line this up like that. The back needs to be close. And getting an impact in here is not the easiest. So I have this contraption of a screwdriver that seems to work pretty good. Now the screws I'm putting in, okay, I got to get that. Okay, bear with me here. I got a little bit of a dilemma here. Okay. Just have to make sure that that stays where I need it to stay. As I was saying, the screws I'm using here are actually just a tad long. But I had shorter ones, but I just didn't like the way they felt when they got tight. And this isn't the easiest thing to do either. Like, I should have taken all this other stuff off. There we go. but I was lazy. Okay, that's good right there. As I was saying about these screws for the third time starting it, these are 1¼ inch screws. Perfectly sized screws would have been 1 1/8 because this aluminum here that you screw through is actually pretty thick. But these just poke through a little bit, and yep, that's good. But I'll either grind them off or I'll do something with them. But I really like the extra holding power. In hindsight, maybe I should have gone 2 layers here. There we go. That seems to be working out good. And I can't say this enough. I'm not going to publish any specs to do this. You can watch my video. In fact, please do. But for real instructions on how to do this, go to Oneway's website. They've got a PDF there, and I bought my stuff in the day when that came in the package. I have that paper somewhere in my shop. I've got a filing cabinet in here, and oh my goodness, one of these years I'm going to have to go through everything in there, and trust me, it'll take some time. Having a little trouble getting this middle screw in. Now, come on. There we go. I think I'm getting it. There we go. Got it. Okay. Well, that's it. They're screwed on. Both sides are on. I did that one before. But yeah, I think this is going to work good. And we're going to plug it in and we're going to find out. Well, there we go. Yeah, this is going to run for a while. The inertia that these CBN wheels make on a grinder keeps it running for a while. But hopefully you can hear me. I'll just talk over it. Well, getting my spindle roughing gouges ready for class tomorrow. This is the first one. I just set the tool rest to get the angle I want. And I'm going to give them just a shade more angle than I had. It's a little easier for my younger students to turn with a wee bit more angle. So that's what I'm going to do today. But yeah, this project worked out really well. I was so happy I didn't have to drill holes in my cabinet. Oneway does recommend that you bolt or fasten your grinder to the cabinet. I imagine that's a safer way to go. However, I've run this grinder like this, you know, with rubber feet on the bottom for, oh jeepers, 10 years at least, maybe 15. And I've never had a problem with it. And the nice thing is it's portable. So this seems to be working really good. Another thing that I came across, and I've been playing a little bit, is I need to make some way of having this exactly that 1¾ inch from the edge of the cabinet, and then I could quickly get my stick out on my gouges correct right away too. So yeah, I'm happy with this. This is going to last me for a while now, and it's right very close to where I'm turning. So, and I have played a little bit with my spindle, or my bowl gouge, and I usually sharpen with the handle on, and I do have room here to do that. So that's good. I'm happy. But yeah, this equipment, the Oneway sharpening system, and yeah, there are others out there, but they are essentially all copies of this. And I don't know if Oneway was the first to come out with this, but they're certainly the first I saw. And in my area here, all the turners, this is Oneway country. So I just drank the Kool-Aid and went with it, and I'm very happy with the system. Now, maybe I'll make another video. I've I've modified mine to do the Ellsworth grind, and I can do that with this, but I got to make some changes too yet. But anyway, I don't use it very often, but I thought I would try to see if it would work. But anyway, that's it for today. The weekend edition will probably come out a little earlier this week because of my teaching. But yeah, this worked out well. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. It would be great, especially the watching and subscribing. That'd be excellent. And those of you that are watching, thank you so much. Like I said, I have been remiss in watching videos from other people that follow me and comment. And my apologies for that. I've just been really busy and I don't really have a lot of time to watch YouTube for enjoyment. So yeah, that's the way it is. But anyway, thank you so much. And we will see you on the weekend edition. It's coming up quick.